Come join us here at the majestic construction of this incredible self-contained ecosystem, destined to become an integral part of our society. A concrete jungle, a complex social habitat, a place of frustration and joy, where unimaginable danger can be lurking round every corner and the miracles of nature unfold before your very eyes.
Welcome to the YMCA, Leicester's oldest theatre. The building was originally erected as a sanctuary for displaced males lured away from the temptation of brothels, taverns, and various other dens of inequity.
During the Great War, these hallowed chambers became safe haven for servicemen injured in the savage territorial dispute that ravaged the continent.
Don't worry, Florence. It'll take more than losing an arm to stop me killing Jerry.
In the years following the armistice, the inhabitants struggled to regain normality as the threat of closure hung upon their home.
Fortunately, this was short-lived.
And a larger threat was looming.
Don't worry, Florence. It'll take more than losing both my arms to stop me killing Jerry.
Eventually, peace falls and the inhabitants return to relative normality. But still, there are underlying tensions.
The high levels of testosterone and absence of females gradually starts to take its toll.
Finally, and spurred on by royal intervention, the early 1980s saw the introductions of female of the species into the delicate ecosystem. They made their mark immediately.
Over the next few decades, the face of the theatre in Leicester was transformed. This ever-shifting landscape of cultural change saw many giants fall.
Each to be replaced with new infrastructures that reflected modern meeting places and social habitats of the city's transmogrifying ecosystem.
However, throughout this period of change, one beacon of hope shone brightly from the darkness.
As the sun rises on a new day, we see a young cub making his way towards the habitat.
He will face many trials and tribulations as he endeavours to gain acceptance from his pride.
As he approaches the threshold, he catches the attention of a young male. They lock eyes, and the young male asserts his dominance with soon-to-be a familiar call.
Yo, you got a fag?
The cub yields and is allowed safe passage.
Once inside, he is greeted by the guardian of the community.
She watches over the ecosystem.
She has seen many young cubs come and go during her time.
She summons the gatekeepers who rush to inspect the new arrival.
The gatekeepers bring the cub back into the inner sanctum of their cave to undergo the full and vigorous examination.
Thrown in at the deep end and the scent of fresh benefits is in the air, and the job-seeker sharks start to circle.
The cub starts to struggle, awash in a sea of paperwork.
This standoff will last a while.
Eventually tired and confused, our cub finds its way back to dry land. His reward, access to the hive.
He finds a small corner to call his own, builds his nest, and marks his territory.
Having settled in, he decides to venture out to the plains to graze.
So the outlands of the habitat are weary and cold, and the cub seeks sustenance.
The sound rings across the wilderness, and the herd begins to muster. A stampede.
Hoof over hoof, the trample and rush towards the outlands.
The cub is left with nothing, frustrated and unsatisfied.
He begins to try to integrate into the group.
To no success.
The outlands of the habitat are weary and cold, and the cub seeks sustenance. With his kill in hand, our cub heads back to the nest to prepare his stores for hibernation.
Away from the herd, he finally gets his nourishment. The call signals danger.
And the herd start to flee the burrow.
Panic sets in. Confusion combined with hunger leads our cub to a series of dead ends.
Once again, our cub attempts to integrate are shunned. But his attempts to join a group have been noticed.
A group of scavengers are approaching.
Tempted by the prospect of inclusion, our cub reluctantly succumbs to the invitation.
Tired and inebriated, our cub staggers back to the den.
Monsoon season.
Total eclipse.
In the darkness, our cub struggles to get his bearings.
It will be a while before his eyes grow accustomed to the darkness, and he must once again seek out the gatekeepers.
Near blind and exposed against the elements, our cub finds himself back at the threshold to the habitat.
A fresh kill has arrived at the threshold.
First, the dominant predators take their share. After that, the rest of the herd follow on.
The pecking order is clear, and our cub is at the very bottom of it.
Still hungry, our cub returns to his burrow to search out his reserves. His store has been raided.
And so he seeks other sustenance.
Back on the plains, the scavengers start to circle.
They've seen he is vulnerable and plan to take advantage.
It doesn't look good. Our cub is almost ready to give in.
Suddenly, The herd moves in.
Rallying behind our cub, closing him in with their ranks and standing strong to face the impending threat.
Our cub is accepted.
We'll have to work hard to find this place within the social rankings of the group, but for now, he is home.
And as the sun sets, our cub stands on sentry duty, guarding the hive from any and all who would approach.
You got a fag?